I'm bored. Let's build a tree. As has been previously established, when I'm left to my own devices and bored, I build weird shit out of cardboard, as evidenced by the Death's Head hawk moth and the cardboard robot that's still in my corner. I live in a basement apartment, which means that some of the structures in said basement apartment are rather odd. As you can see, I have a pipe. There's like ductwork through here. And one of the features that is in my basement apartment is this pillar. I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw the Hospital of Emotions in Los Angeles, and something caught my attention. There was a room full of cardboard trees. So I saw that and thought, ooh, I need that in my apartment. So today's endeavor is to turn this pillar into a tree. Do I have confidence in this? No. Do I have a plan? Absolutely not. Who are you talking to? Let's find out what happens. Now, you may look at this and say, Jordan, that's a pile of garbage in the middle of your living room. Well, to that, I would say, A, how did you get in my house? And B, challenge accepted. Now, the art piece that I'm basing this off of, the tree trunks look like they are woven, like just normal basket woven, out of strips of cardboard. And so it is my intention to try to do this to fit around the pillar and then build branches and things off of it. As you saw, there were some Trader Joe's bags over there. I intend to cut those up and make those leaves, because I want leaves on my ceiling, because I want whimsy, goddammit. Despite my previous musings about not having a plan, I didn't go in completely unprepared. I measured the thing. So I know that I want it to be the full length of the pillar minus the bottom, because I still need to be able to sweep my floor. So the plan is, I'm looking this way because I'm looking at the pillar, the plan is the thing from the bottom pedestal thing of the pillar is about 74 inches tall. So I know that I need to make my thing 74 inches tall, and it is roughly 25, 26 inches around. So those are the dimensions for my cardboard rectangle. And then the decorative bits is where this gets fun. After I get my tree trunk woven, I want to do like how they put tree skirts on Christmas trees? I want to do a removable root system around the bottom to cover the bottom of the pillar, and then when I need to clean like an adult, I can pick it up off the floor and sweep and dust around it without having to fight with and curse the fact that I turned the support pillar in my apartment into a tree. Hi there, editing Jordan, cutting in here for a second. I did not do that. That didn't happen. A, it was going to be a bitch and a half to clean around, and B, I'm too much of a liability to build stuff built onto my floor. I can barely walk in a straight line as it is. It was not a good idea. And then I also want to have a couple of branches coming off the top, hence the Trader Joe's bags for leaves. And then I also kind of want to do some kind of hollow tree thing. I want to put a squirrel or bird nest on the tree. I gotta figure out how to do this. Although I will tell you, this is a complete side note, some very good news. I went home last weekend and I found my other rotary cutter. So now this one is my designated cardboard cutting rotary cutter. I have two of them because I have ADHD, which means that you automatically incur an ADHD tax for lost items. I lost my rotary cutter for a hot minute, and it made me wonder if I had ever actually owned a rotary cutter or if I had lost my mind. So I bought a new one, and then the other one popped up several months later. So now I have two. One for cardboard and one for normal things that you use a rotary cutter for. I intend to use the same technique that I used on my cardboard robot a couple of weeks ago, where I basically peeled one side off of the cardboard to make it nice and flexible. However, because I am making a tree and I want it to be visually interesting and weird looking, I'm going to alternate in my weaving what strips are facing what direction, because when I peel the back off of that cardboard, I have a nice flat side and then I have the corrugated inside of the cardboard box. And so I'm going to be playing a little bit more with texture and like what the boxes look like naturally. I'm going to be less picky about picking pieces that aren't ripped up or don't have barcodes on them. I've already taken off all the stickers that show my address so I don't dox myself. But if there are any marks or like where the tape has been peeled off and so it's kind of ripped up the cardboard and made it a little rough around the edges, I am looking for that specifically because I think that it will add to the kind of like tree bark like texture that I'm going for. See, this is coming together. I haven't started putting anything together yet, but the vision's there. Day 2. As you can see, the pillar is still bare and we're not going to talk about that. Welcome to a live update from my car. I am about to head to Target to buy a bunch of masking tape because the plan has fallen apart. So the whole weaving idea, I started this like pretty late in the evening last night. I don't know how I thought this was going to work. And I started cutting strips of cardboard and very quickly realized gravity is a thing that I am unfortunately beholden to. And so I don't know how I am going to make this structurally stay upright. So we're pivoting. I'm off to go get masking tape and then I shall elaborate when I have returned. Yeah. Supplies have been acquired. The purpose of the tape. I very quickly realized that the woven method that I was planning on doing, I don't have enough floor space to accomplish that because this thing is quite tall. I can touch the ceiling in this apartment, but this pillar is still taller than me. And I do not have the space to weave something that is that tall in one solid section. Also, gravity is a thing. So I was not sure how I was going to get that to stay up. So I have devised another method, hence the tape. The tape is so that I don't have to hot glue stuff to the actual pillar because I rent this place. And so as much as I would like to just like paint this, I cannot. So the tape, we hot glue to the tape instead of the actual pillar, and hopefully when it's time for me to move out, I don't have an actual tree hot glued to the support structures. Is the hope, anyway. you can see, I've covered the pillar in packing paper, so this will give me a better base to work on so that I don't accidentally damage said pillar, and also so that I have like one base color so that when I start gluing cardboard to this, it doesn't look as weird as just trying to glue directly onto like the masking tape that's not the same color as the cardboard. This is kind of an odd angle, but I figured I might as well explain what I'm doing. So the tree has been cardboarded, and now I have branches. And what I'm envisioning is I want leaves on my branches and also along the ceiling to simulate like a tree canopy. And so I have masking tape, leaves that I've cut out of various paper, and a hot glue gun. And so what I'm doing is gluing my paper leaves to both the tree and then to pieces of masking tape that I am then sticking to the ceiling. This is day 4, by the way. The unforeseen consequences of my actions. I'm making pretty good progress, I think, but one thing that I didn't think through or consider was the fact that in order to glue all of these to the tops of the branches and to my ceiling, I would have to continuously look up and have my arms above my head, and now I'm gonna have to go check what my heart rate is. Oh, it is 1:30. Well, it was 1:35, but now we're at 1:40. It's because I'm talking. I need to shut my mouth. That's not good. I'm gonna sit down and drink some water for a minute. I'll be back. So I have run into it's not exactly a problem, but a situation I never thought I would run into. I'm out of scrap paper, and I have hot glue in my eye. Oh my god. That's what I get for looking up at my ceiling with hot glue strings. I'm out of paper. So, these are the leaves. That's all I got. This may continue to be a work in progress. The place where I live actually has a ban on plastic grocery bags. So anytime I go to like the supermarket or anything to pick something up, it comes in paper bags, which a lot of this is that, plus like the paper packaging from Amazon boxes and things like that. So I guess just anytime I get another bag that is a paper bag that I can cut up, I will be adding more leaves to my tree, which I think is actually kind of fun. So, as you can see, this is my finished tree in all its glory. This is what I've got. I think that this is gonna be kind of a continuing, just like fun add to it when I can kind of project. Like I said before, I have already some more paper scavenged that I'm gonna add to this and cut out some more leaves. I also kind of want to put like a bird here, so we may venture into trying to make some kind of cardboard crow to put in the space here. And then I also wouldn't mind having something to put in the little hollow of the tree. But yeah, this is now my new favorite part of my living room. Like I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the video, this entire project came from my need to make my living space as whimsical and interesting as possible. Also, something that I didn't mention earlier, the design and like materials for this was based off of the art exhibit that I saw on TikTok, but also in my childhood bedroom, there has always been a tree painted on the wall. It was in my nursery when I was a baby, because my bedroom was 100 Acre Woods themed. It was Winnie the Pooh. And then whenever we repainted it several years later when I was older, we kept the tree. And so I missed my tree. And so I needed a tree, and now I have a tree. How many times can I say the word tree? But yeah, what did I learn from this project? When I hold my hands over my head and repeatedly glue leaves to the ceiling, I have the tendency to get lightheaded. That wasn't new information, but that was a thing that happened. I think definitely I underestimated how much material I was going to need for this. I definitely thought that I had enough paper to make the canopy as extensive as I wanted it to be. Right now this is a good base, but I had kind of imagined my leaves to coming out to about like there. I wanted it to cover a greater portion of the ceiling because I wanted it to have the illusion of it being a much bigger tree, right? And so I wanted like the branches going into the ceiling and then an expanse of leaves. And I don't have that yet, but I'm gonna keep working on it. If you've made it this far in the video, this is the kind of weird shit that I do all the time. I have just decided that I make things out of cardboard now. So if you like that kind of thing, consider sticking around. Hit the subscribe button, the bell, the like, the comment, all the YouTube things. We also still have the podcast that happens occasionally. That's more D&D, nerdy gaming stuff focused. And then we also still have all the gaming content and reaction content. We do a little bit of everything around here. And so, yeah, I'm still not good at ending videos. See you later!